And that, my friends, is the death of Adewale.
Bullshit! Hey, fuck you, man!
There is a time skip and we see New York, and before we continue talking about the plot, I would like to talk about New York's consistency between Rogue and AC3, because both games feature New York as a playground. The art style of New York in Rogue contradicts that of New York's version of AC3. In Assassin's Creed 3, New York is more grayer and there was almost zero to none variation between New York and Boston in Assassin's Creed 3. The cities were so identical in art design and atmosphere that the player could easily be misled to think they were walking around in New York while they were actually just walking through the streets of Boston. So the Rogue team, of course, changed the art style and atmosphere of New York when you were going to revisit the city in Assassin's Creed Rogue. But we also shouldn't really be surprised though. Rogue is a prequel to Assassin's Creed 3, so there is a sort of justification behind the art style change. But the cities themselves are inconsistent. Don't take me wrong, this isn't the first time in the franchise when something like this happened. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood started right off where Assassin's Creed 2 left off, with Minerva talking to Desmond through Ezio, and then she disappears. But what makes that thing sort of inconsistent is the art style and light effects. Everything in the Vatican Vault was absolutely dark, but in Brotherhood we could see the blue shimmering walls around Ezio and Minerva. Plus the light effects were a little bit different. Two other inconsistencies in the opening of Brotherhood would be: 1. The door Ezio and Mario used to leave the chapel, but in Assassin's Creed 2 that door didn't exist. Number 2, the buildings of Rome were just a bit bigger in AC2 than they were in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. But here's the thing. These things weren't that big, nor were they a central point of the story. But Rogue's version of New York, on the other hand though, is almost an entire new city that is heavily connected with New York from Assassin's Creed 3. But we can still sort of understand that because there's a time skip between the two games. But we are supposed to help the people in New York, right? In Rogue? Freeing the city from the Assassin's influence, investing money into the city to rebuild it and make the lives of the people easier, right?
The townsfolk here are grinding away, trying to make a living.
I suspect New York will prosper under your watch, Master Cormac. You can do great things for this city and its citizens.
So why is it that after we kill all the assassins and are supposedly making the lives of the people better in the city still goes to hell in AC3? We know that there was a war and conflicts going on in AC3, so that explains why the city would look so different in atmosphere, art style and tone. Plus the time skip. But doesn't that not undo everything you did to help the people of New York in Rogue? There is also absolute zero reference to Shay's actions in New York in AC3, so doesn't that make the whole rebuilding New York part pointless? Another thing I like to point out is that no one seemed bothered in AC3 that Connor wears assassin robes, even though the assassins and Rogue walk around in public, show off the assassin insignia to the world, beating up old couples and steal money from the civilians. They still happily want to help him. Even in Rogue itself, there is a scene where Hope, Achilles, Liam and Chevrolet are just standing next to each other in public talking about pieces of Eden and Hope's thieves network, and no one bates an eye, like they aren't even there. There's supposed to be a big criminal influence on the city that everyone is scared of, but no one seems to care that they are just standing there, like 5 of them next to each other. Were the people too scared to react? Were those people too scared to even look at them? In Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, while not perfect, the people of the city were scared and everyone who dared to stand up for themselves got into big trouble.
But ups at the same time? Silla Bocca, none speak ill of the Borgia.
This was a thing that happened multiple times in the main storyline of Brotherhood and in the open world randomly.
I wish there was some way we could really make a difference.
Assassin! The liberation of Roma has begun.
But Rogue barely does that. So far as we are right now in Rogue's storyline, we only have seen 2 random thugs attack an old couple who could have attacked them any other day, even 1 week later after Shay left the Finnegans.
Freeing these cities from their corrupt leaders will no doubt promote the cause of peace.
Can you really be so sure?
The means by which men rule are reflected in their people. As you cleanse the cities of corruption, you heal the hearts and minds of those who live within.
Everything else was just exposition dumped down on us by the Templar Order, with Shay is blindly believing in all of it. So this, I guess, is Show Don't Tell Gone 1. Discuss this in the comment section down below, please. Back to story. We see Hope, Liam, Achilles and Chevrolet all talking to each other in public. They talk about that they are ready to set out and sail for a precursor location. Hope only needs to activate the box. This scene is bad for numerous amounts of reasons beyond what I already have told you. No one seems to be affected emotionally by Shay's actions. Not only aren't they affected by the events that has transpired, but they act like it never happened. Kesekawase is dead and was part of burning down the town, but no one seems to care or mention it. Leshashea is dead, but no one cares that he is gone. Plus they lost a fort and an ally, but no one cares. Adewale is the living incarnation of the creed and a symbol of hope to the assassins according to Gist. Plus he is in good relationship with Achilles, the mentor of the Colonial Brotherhood, remember?
It has been a long time.
Achilles.
And Achilles doesn't even show a single tear that is gone now. Nor even one single emotion. Not even a muscle movement. Achilles attacked Shay back at the manor in the homestead because he believed that Shay was going to destroy everything that they built.
I will not let you destroy everything we have built!
But now he doesn't even seem to care. No one seems to care that the symbol of hope is gone. Pun not intended, but maybe I'm just stupid for listening to Gist. You know, at least Achilles was set off screen when his family died. It is still bad writing because it didn't affect Achilles as a character late in the storyline, but at least it was mentioned that he was sad, but here he doesn't care at all.
Bad excuse is better than none at all.
Nor does he do that later. Why is that? Everyone around Achilles is just dying. Everyone around Achilles is taken down one by one and he doesn't seem to care, nor bother giving a response. Beside emotion, Achilles is the mentor, so shouldn't he be more worried by now with everything going on? Achilles' network of assassins is slowly fading from the face of the earth, and he's still acting like the man we saw in the very opening of the game. It's almost like Shay never stole the manuscript and that the homestead never got bombarded by Chevrolet. His manuscript was stolen, but he gets it back later. His allies are hunted down by a rogue assassin, but apparently in this scene, he has enough men working under him to control ships, and Hope has still a lot of control over New York. This would have been a bit more realistic if it were the Templars, because they have more money than the assassins, remember?
The Templars might have deeper pockets than us.
The reason why the Templars have more money is because many members of the Templar Order have high social statuses, plus some of them control armies and influence the system. Most members of the Assassin Order, though, don't have high social statuses, nor do they care that much about it either. They work mostly off the grid, they work more outside the system, unlike the Templars, who live inside the system and work more with it. I'm not saying that the assassins are poor because they do have a lot of money, but not as much as the Templars because they are less focused on social statuses. They don't care if you were born on the streets, they care more about the person. And yes, not all Templar members had a high social status, but they do care more about it.
We choose our beneficiaries with great care.
I'm not saying that the Templars have unlimited money and manpower, that will be really unrealistic. But if one of them dies, it does indeed have an effect on them. It explains why they can give more men away than the Assassin Order. His homestead got bombarded, but don't worry, that didn't matter. That was just for spectacle for the escape sequence. His family died, but he is not affected by it. He gave Adewale some supplies to help the people in Haiti, but don't worry, he's dead and it doesn't matter. Liam, who in Shay's own words is Prince of the Assassins, because Liam can become the new mentor one day, doesn't seem to get that the Brotherhood that he might one day rule is slowly disappearing from the face of the earth. Nor does he question Achilles' decision making here. Hope's characterization gets contradicted here by her own behavior. Throughout the game, we learned that Hope was a caring person, but now she doesn't seem to care that they all might die at any moment now. She might die, her mentor might die, her whole network can be destroyed, but she doesn't seem to care. Did they all discuss this off screen or so? We don't know because the game doesn't try to give us an answer. Did no one realize in the writing department how stupid all of this is? But believe it or not, it just gets worse. Liam says that Hope has found a way to reproduce Franklin's experiment. Remember that? In the opening sequence, Shay and Hope worked together with Franklin to activate the precursor box with lightning. That was the only way to activate it because the box needed energy to work, but Hope can now just replicate the experiment. This brings two questions and only one is answered here. Number 1. How did Hope learn to replicate Franklin's experiment? This was answered by Hope herself. She says that she is a keen observer, which fits her character. character. Hope is the lead of the thief network in New York, remember? So being an observer fits that job description perfect. This trait would also help her adjust to situations much better and faster. Maybe she developed this trait skill or whatever you wanna call it when she was still an orphan and living on the streets and trying to survive. Second of all, this will make her inclusion in Benjamin's experiment much better story-wise. There's more reason given now why she was there. She also kept working with Benjamin after the experiment, but we don't know how much though and how long exactly. But this brings us now to the second question. How is she able to replicate the experiment if there is no lightning? We needed lightning to activate the box, remember? But now we don't need lightning. This brings us back to the box again, because Hope can make the box suddenly work. You can't say that the box had energy left, because if that was true, then why wouldn't they have already activated again? Speaking of that experiment, so if the box needs lightning, why are they still here? If you want to activate it, then you just go to some place where it's always storming. Why hasn't Hope done this experiment sooner? The box is stupid! How does she exactly perform the experiment? Did Benjamin explain to her how to reproduce enough energy to activate the box without lightning? If that is true, then when exactly did he explain it to her? Why haven't they already done it yet? Did she just discover it now? Did they need to save energy in cold storage? Plot. It's just plot. They have to make the characters dumber so the plot can continue. This scene would have been a lot better if they just talked about what happened in the storyline. The scene begins slowly with everyone looking around them, being afraid if they were followed. Chevalier arrives to the scene and confirms that Olawale is dead, shocking everyone. The characters will be in denial, sad, and will mourn Adewale. There will be in short silence and Achilles will look at his shoes, not daring to look anyone in the eyes. One of the characters will eventually break the silence, asking what the plan is now. You get it? It's not perfect, but much more effective. Just a short recap of the story. We hear and learn from their point of view, see the effects and consequences to our actions, and learn what they think about Shay without knowing he's just lurking around the corner. Shay returns to Hatem and informs them on the current situation. The assassins found a way to activate the precursor box, and so they must hasten to stop them. Jack decides to become relevant to the plot and suggests that they impersonate Hope's men. They will create such chaos that the authorities must act against them. Hatem says that he will try to find out where the assassins are hiding, and in the meanwhile we are just allowed to make trouble. First off, Hatem shouldn't be bothered looking for them because he will just bump into one of them in less than 25 minutes. They are everywhere, remember? Second of all, two gang members who work for the assassins just happen to be there when Hatem leaves, stealing the money of an innocent lady. If he decided to stay 5 seconds around longer, then he might just have attacked them to interrogate them. We will be able to steal their uniforms and Hatem has what he wants. This will save him a lot of unnecessary time looking for them. Plus, it's such a wasted opportunity to talk about what's wrong with stealing from the innocents. The objective is to kill the two gang members and steal their clothes. This is a mission very similar to that of AC3, where Connor had to dress up as a guard to infiltrate a warehouse with Hatem Kenway.
I will find a guard who is off duty and take his uniform.
Very well. I will wait here then.
Of course you will.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like me to come along and hold your hand, perhaps? Provide kind words of encouragement?
Don't we make a disgraceful pair of crooks?
No. I make this look good. So what's the target?
The military pay. We'll have to hurry. A regiment is already on its way to the fort where the coins are kept.
Great. And I suppose you have a plan?
The fort holds many prisoners. Get in and hoist the gang's colors. When you do, I'll free them.
You're going to free a bunch of criminals working with the assassins.
Well, we have to turn the army against them, don't we? Remember, you raise the flag and I'll raise hell.
A few inches later.
The prisoners got loose. They had help from outside. There were just too many of them.
Well then, we're going to have to fix that, aren't we? It's about time we took those criminals down.
But sir, I didn't even tell you who the attackers are. We don't need to know who they are. We are just gonna kill every single criminal now. But sir, how do you know? Are you questioning your divine savior? I'm always right, remember that.
6.5 hours later.
We meet Hatem again in an alleyway, interrogating a man. This again is a scene awfully similar to a mission where Connor and Hatem work together in AC3. In the first mission where father and son work together, they both interrogate a man.
Where is Benjamin Church?
Where is your boss?
I don't know. I'll never tell. Normally unload the cargo.
You don't tell. He'll kill you.
She's in that big mansion.
Maybe you'll find him there.
Haytham kills the person after he revealed the necessary information that they needed to require. But this time around, there's no attempt at arguing.
You did not have to kill him.
Let's not waste time with all this pointless banter. Go catch up with the rest of Church's men. Infiltrate that camp of theirs and see what you can discover.
And what about you?
Never you mind. Just do as I ask. Shall we go?
You know, I wouldn't be surprised that Haytham was thinking during the events of Assassin's Creed 3, why isn't Connor more like Shay?
Perhaps some time together might do us good. You are my son after all, Shay. I expect you will become the best son. You will not disappoint.
I don't plan to, sir.
Hey, fuck you, man!
The interrogation scene with Shay and Haytham is weird though for two reasons. Number one, and that is just me I believe, Shay doesn't question why Haytham killed him because it was absolutely unnecessary. Throughout the entire main storyline, we see Shay tackle people aligned with the Brotherhood and letting them live after they give him the information.
And where is he set up?
You can't miss it. There's always black smoke rising from the courtyard of that building.
Except today though, because... I don't know, discuss it in the comment section down below, please. Number 2, Haytham he is pretty fucking stupid, almost as stupid as Shay. He somehow ignored all the authorities that are assembling behind him to attack the mansion. They were already waging war on the streets while Haytham was just standing here interrogating the guy. Just follow the noise, there's gunfire everywhere. Most of it comes from the mansion. What are you going to tell me? That the authorities and the assassins weren't fighting yet? That they weren't waging war yet on the streets? Okay, sure, fine. But why wouldn't Haytham not notice the authorities? Did he just simply decide to ignore them, or did he not even notice? He allowed Jack and Shay to make trouble.
We could commit a crime so big, they couldn't ignore those damn brigands anymore.
That sounds like an excellent plan, Jack. Make it so. I will find out where the assassins are hiding.
Is it just me, or did the boss tell us to make trouble?
Enjoy it while you can, Shay.
So... why are you here? If you wanted to find a leader, why did it take you so long to find the right man with the information? Have you already interrogated others before meeting him? Did the authorities knew who Hope Jensen was and where she was located? Shay, who is still the dumbest of the two here, somehow ignored all of that too. And now that I am actually on the battle between Hope's men and the authorities anyway, the whole battle is pointless and nothing more than a chaotic spectacle just to kill a few men around the mansion that Shay and Haytham could have done on their own. Inside the mansion, Hope and Liam ignore all the commotion outside. I bet my liver on it, if you remove the whole conflict, there will be no change in any dialogue between Hope, Liam and Shay during this event. It's that irrelevant. There's no emotional stake in the conflict between Hope's men and the authorities. Hope will escape the mansion and it's almost like there is no war conflict is going on outside. Nor does it affect her escape route nor the gameplay. Liam just teleports away from the mansion and we don't know how. Did the box do that? Did he learn fast traveling from Chevrolet? Before entering the mansion, Shay asks Haytham how he got his hidden blade. So wait, you're saying that you didn't notice that Haytham was wearing a hidden blade? He didn't try to conceal them, you know. You were surrounded by people who wear hidden blades for years, and it's really uncommon to see an assassin weapon in the hands of a Templar. So wouldn't you not notice that immediately? Shay was aware that Haytham had an assassin father to Gist. So did he just wait until now to ask about the hidden blade? The only excuses I can actually come up for this is that 1. He didn't want to ask Haytham a personal question. 2. He didn't recognize the design even though he was surrounded by assassins for years. It's not important to the overall story, but it does make me question the hidden blade in this scene. Discuss it in the comment section down below if you want to.
We have everything we need. Now, Chevalier will be expecting me. Hope?
Bon voyage. About time you showed up.
For some reason, Liam didn't hear any of that and Hope was the only one being aware of Shay's presence. Even though he looked up just like Hope to see the holographic projection of the world. The only way Hope will be able to see Shay is by looking through the projection or past it, but did not warn Liam for some reason. You can say that Liam didn't see Shay from his point of view, because from where he is standing he should have a good view. Even if he didn't see Shay, why won't he burst back into the room to help Hope after the gunfire went off? They both knew Shay was there. And if we go by that logic, logic, then why would he just leave her? Did they just plan it? But because I personally enjoyed that scene so much, I will repeat the scene a few times.
Drop the bass.
Watch me!
About time you showed up.
There's still 9 more ribs I can break.
Sorry it had to come to this, Shay.
I can control your pacemaker remotely. You want to see what 250 beats per minute feels like? What did you do to me?
What is this?
I killed you. And in a few more minutes, your body will realize it. That's it. Use your strength. With every effort, you hasten your end.
Hope removes the mouth cap from Shay that protects him from smoke bombs and poisonous gas. She turns the wheel and grabs an antidote, takes a sip and says goodbye to Shay and leaves. Of course, Shay escapes the room and finds Hope, who hasn't left the area yet. The poison injected into Shay affects his heart. It slows it down, and the only way to stay alive is by keeping active, moving. This is actually pretty creative narrative and gameplay wise. Story wise, Shay must force himself to go after Hope because she has the antidote, and if he doesn't, he will die. If someone else like Charles Lee or some random NPC was poisoned by Hope, he or she will certainly die because he or she is unable to follow Hope over the rooftops. So there's a good reason here for Shay's parkour abilities to exist narrative wise. Gameplay wise, it's effective for multiple reasons. The player is forced to go after her and not stop moving, or else the player will die. And taking too much time to get over an obstacle is dangerous for you and Shay. You feel the urge to stay alive. You are in the same mindset here as Shay. You're making a connection with the main protagonist in an effective way. Shay eventually does kill her and takes the antidote from her. But before we go into her death, I would like to talk about this whole situation with Hope poisoning Shay. So you might be wondering, why didn't she just kill Shay right here in the mansion? It was indeed the perfect opportunity. Chevalier with a mind, so why doesn't Hope you stab Shay, you know? He is a traitor to the Brotherhood, killed many of their allies' friends, destroys their influence and networks. So yes, it's indeed a good question why Hope doesn't kill Shay right here, right now. She poisoned Shay but doesn't destroy the antidote. She could have smashed it against a random wall whenever she wanted to, and Shay then has to be really careful not to drink glass from the ground. She could have taken all of it right there and then, but she didn't. She had enough antidote, enough left for Shay. Yes, these are all good questions, so that's why I'm gonna talk about Hope's character here and why she might be in love with Shay. And I would like to remind you, might be in love with Shay. So this is more of a theory, but it does make sense in the overall context of the story that is presented to us and why Hope didn't immediately kill Shay here. Back at the homestead in the beginning of the game, if you keep walking past Hope during a training session, there's a dialogue where she talks about that she can talk to Shay later, perhaps at dinner. Throughout the entire storyline, she seems to be the only one regretting to actually try to kill Shay. Interesting. Maybe it's just bad writing, or Hope does indeed feel something for Shay here. There is sadness in her voice.
Sorry it had to come to this, Shay. You were a fascinating fellow.
Even when Shay murders her, she isn't mad. She doesn't scream at Shay like the others do.
I trained you to do this. I expected nothing less. Pity. You had so much potential.
If if she indeed loved him, then it might explain why she didn't up straight try to murder him right there, right then. It could still be argued though that poisoning Shay is worse. She could have escaped it right there and then, but for some reason she stayed around a bit longer even though her parkour skills aren't that bad. Even if she wasn't in love with Shay, all of this is still in character. Wait a second, actual decent writing in Rogue?
What sorcery is this?
As we have learned over the course of the storyline, Hope seems to care the most about the innocent civilians.
God, Hope. What are you doing with these felons? Turning the city against itself. What have you become?
She cared enough about Benjamin Franklin to help him after the experiment.
What about you?
I'm a devoted housekeeper.
Right.
Have no worries. I will keep the Morgans safe in New York.
Thank you.
She's not even mad that Shay was too late.
Do not waste your words. Shay abhors improvement as much as cats abhor leashes.
Hey.
So yes, this does all fit her character. If Hope loved Shay, then the feeling might be mutual. During the training session, Shay first greeted Hope of all the assassins around. He was shocked to know that she might do terrible things, and he was the most emotional when he killed Hope.
Hope. I didn't want to do this.
Hence the reason why this might be the most logical, well-written mission in the game, even though there's a lot of bad writing around it. Maybe that's one of the reasons why this mission stands out the most. There is something though I do like to point out here. So Hope takes Shay's mouth cap, so why does she take the antidote? The antidote only cured the poison Hope injected into Shay when they were on the rooftop. The gas in the mansion has no lasting effect on Shay, so she does this for no apparent reason, except if she hopes that Shay survives and goes after her, but my guess is that the writers didn't know how to put the antidote into the storyline naturally. Let's just hope drink the cure, indicating that she has the, you know, the antidote for Shay. Or else it will just feel awkward that Shay is just robbing her when she's struggling to stay alive, you know?
You're late. Again, Shay.
But hey, even if she wasn't a love interest, why is it a potential love interest or love interest in general always die in this franchise?
I'll get you to a doctor. You're going to be alright.
No, it's...
It is done. The way lies all before you.
Caroline, until she passed away some years ago.
It is. It is.
Always wondered what life might have been like if she and I stayed together. How is she, by the way?
Dead. Murdered.
What? I'm sorry to hear that.
Go. Alone.
What a big cliche! The love interest always dies. At least they tried to stop doing that when Aya became playable, but come on! It's unfortunate that such a well-written death scene is surrounded by so many bad plot elements, bad writing and bad characters. This scene could have been so much better if all that bad stuff was just removed. All of this happened because of a communication error. Can you believe it?
I try to live my life every day. Keep out of strife, come what may. I try to do unto others as I'd have them do to me, but it can't be done for everyone, and now it's plain to see. You are a cunt, 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 but if that stinking cunt said it ain't true, but he'll tell you you're a motherfucking cunt. You are a cunt, 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 motherfucking cunt. Everybody knows from your head to toes you're a big fat stinking cunt. I try to be real nice, say it twice, be real nice, even though it is hard to keep up this facade.
Kill this motherfucker and rape as hard as he wants the world burn!
I'm out of luck, don't give a fuck, cause you're the cunt, not me.
Why don't you go fuck yourself, dickhead?
You are a cunt, 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 big fat stinking cunt.
Fucking asshat!
You're a motherfucking cunt. You are a cunt, 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 motherfucking cunt. Everybody knows from your head to your toes you're a big fat stinking cunt. Why don't you shut that scabby cunt mouth before I fuck up your face? You maniac, Gonna get you back, you fucking son of a bitch.
Who are you to decide what city falls next?
Right or wrong, Shay, you betrayed the Brotherhood, Achilles, and me.
I will not let you destroy everything we have built!
This mad grab for power. It ends now.